I think it's taken time for people to come around to the idea of a fractional CMO because I think a lot of companies, in my experience, it's a walk before you run thing with marketing. When they hire someone in marketing, they eventually embrace it as opposed to tiptoe into it. And the question that I had for you is the slow burn that we're seeing when it comes to being a fractional CMO. Is it because companies are not aware that that fractional CMO exists, or do they not see the benefits, or aren't they not willing to embrace it yet? I'm just trying to get your sense on some of the hesitancy or some of the things that are holding back the whole idea of hiring a fractional CMO and feeling good about hiring a fractional CMO.
I think a lot of it has to do with the level of commitment that each individual company has towards its marketing and the mindset it has towards its marketing efforts. If it's still seen as an expense line, then you're probably not there. They have to realize that this is an investment and that it's an investment that will pay back multiple layers later and years later, in fact, in some cases, and that you have to make a long-term commitment. If you want to make money fast, brew beer. If you want to make money slow, you become a distiller. You got to wait. You got to be patient, and you got to wait for this stuff to go. So the slow burn effect you're seeing is the fact that the level of commitment amongst a broad swath of companies and sectors is not there for marketing yet. They've often had the bigger companies, the enterprise folks have had CMOs for a long time because they've realized the value. That's what got them there, was realizing the value of marketing and letting it drive the boat, drive the show, and pull in revenue as it is supposed to. The smaller companies, who often the founders are from the sales side or from the marketing side to a certain degree, think they understand it, but they don't have the depth and the breadth, and they're way, way overloaded with other corporate duties to be able to focus on it adequately. But the first thing founders look for in some help is somebody who's not going to threaten their autonomy and their authority. Well, marketers are change agents. You call up that guy, you better be ready to reap the whirlwind, because they're going to come in and make some fairly impactful changes fairly early to get you on the right track and to get you going strong and to get those cats all moving in the same direction. So I think there's some hesitancy there. The whole concept that asking for help is a weakness sometimes plays into that as well. And I'm sure you saw that in the consulting world. You know, if you have to turn around and have somebody else solve a problem for you, you know, maybe the board's going to question your abilities. So there's a certain amount of that going on. The other thing that I've noticed is that the people that are willing to embrace this are very, very comfortable knowing that someone else has taken that off their plate. The less secure the founder and the CEO is, the less comfortable he is making that commitment and delegating that authority and driving that change from somewhere other than his chair. I think it's a combination of all three things that are driving the hesitancy and the slow creeping progress that CMOs have been able to make. The inroads are there, but you got to catch the right people. It's like if you own a castle for a house. Yeah, everybody likes to live in a castle, but there's only 2 or 3 guys that can really afford it and understand how much work that really is. So your buyer pool is very limited for something like that, but it's a tremendous property, and you don't understand why their buyers aren't lining up. That's why it takes a very specific buyer to make that work.